Good morning, friends and family of YouTube. It's Travis again, and I am getting an early start this morning. I'm having to film this first part in my truck just so that there's a little bit of light. It's 6:45 a.m. The sunrise is not scheduled to come up until 7:30, so definitely getting an early start. I think it's Roundtop Trail that I'm doing this morning. But there wasn't a parking spot right there next to the trailhead, so I had to come up a little bit farther, and I'll show you this trailhead because I have done this one before, but I went ahead and parked here. But before we get started, let me go ahead and give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville, Alcoa area, you will pass through the city of Townsend, and then you will come up here to the Townsend Y. If you go to the right, that will take you back towards Cades Cove. But today we're actually going to go to the left towards Gatlinburg. This will actually be our final destination point here, so just kind of keep that in mind. This is where we'll end up. Alright, so it's about a 12-13 minute drive from the Townsend Y to get to this point, but you're going to make a left into Metcalf Bottoms. Continue straight and go across this bridge. And then we'll head up a little ways here to where the trailhead is. Alright, there it is on the left. Just trying to find a place though where I can park. So I'm gonna pull over here. This is actually another separate trail, but we're gonna go here and park, get off the road a little bit, and let's get situated. All right, so welcome back. I've got my backpack ready to go. I wish I had thought to bring my headlamp, but I didn't. I do have my flashlight because it is super dark out here right now. So let's head up here and I'll show you this this other trail where we're parked at, and then we'll go down to the one that we're gonna hike today. Alright, so there's the Mazda parked there on the side of the road, and we parked right here at the Little Greenbrier Trail. Don't know if you can see that, it's kind of reflective with the light. Little Greenbrier Trail. I do have a video on that one I have done in the past, but we are going to head back down here. The trailhead we need to hit is actually down here on the right, so like I said, there really wasn't a good parking spot, so we had to park here this morning, make sure my truck is all locked up, and we'll head down here to the trailhead. Alright, so I went ahead and put the GoPro on my chest mount, and here we have Roundtop Trail, Townsend Y, 7.5 miles one way. I've got to hike this round trip, so it's going to be 15, and there is no bridge when you get down here to the water, so let's head this way. believe it or not, as you could hear, there's been quite a bit of traffic down that road, and which is good. So I'm in an area where there's quite a few vehicles passing on a regular basis. But I'll be honest, I didn't expect to get up here this early. I thought it was going to take me a little bit longer this morning, and like I said, I really wish I had brought my headlamp, but at least I've got the flashlight so we can see for a little bit. But this particular trail, 7.5 miles, most people will hike this with 2 people, right? You'll drive 2 different cars and park on one end, and then somebody park on the other. That way you don't have to walk 7.5 one way, but I don't have that luxury, so I'm gonna do the whole 15 by myself. And I mean, I come flying out of the gate. I don't know why I do that. I feel like I'm trying to run a marathon or something. I know this one's gonna have a lot of incline on it from what I've read. And I have considered doing a night hike, and I don't know, now out here in the dark like this, I may need to reconsider that idea. Anyway, let's go for a little ways. I don't expect this to be an overly exciting trail. I don't think there's really any streams or creeks or anything that we're going to cross over, and there's no cabins, no waterfalls. It'll basically just final up here at the Y, which is a huge water crossing. But I will not be doing that. I'll just get up here and turn around and come back. But we'll see how this goes. Not sure if you can see it off in the background. I turned the light off. Not sure how well this will show up, but you can see the moon up through the trees. So that'll be going here in just a little bit, but pretty cool sight back off in the distance. So anyway, let's see how this goes. So just to let you know, this is what it looks like right now. If I'm not using my flashlight. Believe it or not, there's actually enough light from the moon that I can see the trail, but that's about it. Can't really see much beyond that. Kind of a neat experience though. Kind of having to rely on my other senses besides just my sight. Alright, not sure how well you can see this or not, but that is the moon right up over the mountain. Try to stand still for a second. See if you can see that. Oh, I didn't know what that was. It was a bird. Thought I had angered something. Alright, so here's a better shot of it. Hopefully, trying to get around some of these trees so you can see it with the moon off in the background. I mean, you're not going to see that during the day for sure. Try to get up here and get a better shot of it. But anyway, it's kind of neat. And it is starting to lighten up just a little bit. You can see the sun coming up way back in the distance, so my visibility has improved quite a bit just over probably the past 5 or 10 minutes. And that will definitely continue. But anyway, just wanted you to get a shot of the moon there. It looks like it's almost full. It's going to be tough to see on the GoPro because it's so far away and I can't zoom in on this. But anyway, thought I'd show that to you. sunrise this morning, but this is right on the trail. Cabin area. It's gonna be a nice place for sure when they're done with that. Well, it is 7:27 and the official sunrise this morning 7:30, so we're right there at it. I know you're not gonna be able to see it in the GoPro, but the mountain's off in the distance. Sun will be up over here hopefully in the next few minutes or so, but as you can tell, visibility is much better now, which is nice. I will say though, I have noticed a lot of spots on the trail where there's been some bear activity. So fingers crossed, hopefully I'll see one. With this being a very secluded trail and not very well traveled, I was really hoping that I might see one on here. But you know, my luck this year has not been good. I've only seen 3, and I think last year I saw about 15. So I don't know, hopefully we'll get a chance to see one. But anyway, but you can tell there's a ton, I mean a ton of these nuts. So they definitely have a good food source right here, making walking a little difficult. But I don't know, maybe we'll see one, hopefully. If so, I'll try to get it on video, but we will continue on. Alright, so there is a picture of the sunrise now starting to come up over the mountains back in the distance. Still doubtful you can see it very well on the GoPro, but pretty awesome sight from here in person. Alright, so this is the first what I would say major obstacle I've come across so far, which just seems odd. Like, this has been sawed off to clear out of the way so you can get over it, but why not just saw the whole thing and, I don't know, get it out of the way? I mean, you're here with the chainsaw, so go ahead and knock it out. But anyway, that made it a little better as far as passing through the trail, but still, it just doesn't make sense not to go ahead and just clear the tree completely off the trail. So no real major updates. This so far has pretty much just been a walk in the woods like I expected. No streams or anything. I've come across maybe 2 or 3 little areas where you can see runoff where it's rained, but we've not had any rain in the past couple of weeks, or no significant amount, so both of those crossings were dry. But and it hasn't been too horrible. It's been a combination of inclines and declines. They've been consistent. You'll go 20-30 minutes uphill and then turn around. Like now I'm it had leveled off and now I'm going downhill a little bit, but they're pretty what's the word I'm looking for? They're gradual. They're not like super steep, so that has helped. But I mean, this is gonna be a long trail, 7.5 miles one way. And I will say this, the weather feels great. It's 54 degrees right now. I think it's supposed to get up maybe low 80s for a high. Oh, there's a bear. Oh, I saw one. There's no way you're gonna see that on the GoPro. He just went across the trail down here. If I hadn't been running my mouth, I probably could have got a closer view. Let's head down here and see what we can see. Like I said, weather's great. It's 54, just about perfect. Man, if I hadn't been looking though, I would not have seen this guy. Pretty sure he's gonna be gone by the time I get down here. Oh, I hear him. Going up through the woods. He crossed right through here. But he is gone. not going to be able to see him on the GoPro because he was way off. I barely saw him. But the good news is I can at least mark that down on my list that I did see one, even though I really don't have proof of it, which is kind of disappointing. But I had seen a lot of activity on this trail, a lot of bear poop, and a lot of places where you could tell where old trees had been dug up, and I assume looking for like grubs, other types of insects. Man, all right, well, that's awesome. I'm hoping I'll get another opportunity to see one while I'm on this trail. I'd like to get something on video, a little better for you to see. But anyway, that's I'll just go ahead and mark that up for a win, getting to see a bear. So that makes number 4 so far for the year, which is awesome. If I just hadn't been running my mouth, I probably could have got a little closer view of that guy. Dang it. All right, well, hopefully we'll get another opportunity. All right, so this is just up from where I saw the bear just a second ago, and it's basically a couple of spots where there's runoff. There is a little bit of standing water though, so I mean they've got to have a water source, so maybe that's a good spot for them to come, I guess. I don't know, but really that's about all I've seen. There's not been any regular running water so far on this trail. Cub up in the trees up there. I don't know if you can see him. There's something on the ground too. I assume it's the mama. Try to get past here. Definitely some activity back there. I felt like that was a mama and some cubs. And the cubs were up in the trees and mama was on the ground, and I think she was trying to put herself in between me and them. Never got a good shot other than the cub that was up in the tree, but I could hear a lot of noise in the underbrush. So, whew. So far that's out of all the encounters I've had, that's been maybe the scariest one. Usually they're pretty docile and they're jittery and they kind of go on their way, but man, a mama bear is so protective. That one had me a little worried. And I had to get past that spot on the trail because I'm like towards the end here. There's no way I got enough energy left to make my way back the other direction. I'm just like got another maybe 2 miles, mile and a half out of the 15. But anyway, this was way past like where I saw the bear the last time. So I had got the GoPro out hoping I'd see another one. Never did. Went probably another mile, and that's when I ran into that group. And so I'm like literally within, I don't know, maybe a mile, mile and a half of my truck. Whew, that one got my heart going. But anyway, I'm gonna edit this back in to where I saw the bear the first time. But just to let you know, this was towards the end of my hike. And so anyway, I know you couldn't see it on the GoPro. Probably couldn't hear it either, but man, they were close. So, like I said, I'll edit this back in so you'll have that video footage anyway. Well, you're definitely not going to be able to see it off in the distance in the GoPro, but mountains in the background, a lot of fog or smoke, hence the name, the Smoky Mountains. But So far on this trail, there's not been like any spot where you've just had a great view because of all the trees. But man, I bet in the wintertime, when the leaves are off, this trail would have some spectacular views. I mean, you can just see it like I can with my eyes off in the distance, but you're gonna have a hard time because the leaves are blocking it out on the GoPro. But I think this would be an awesome trail in the wintertime just for the visibility of it. All right, so this is kind of a weird spot in the trail. Like, I mean, I just been chugging right along, you know, normal trail, and all of a sudden just get here, and man, this thing just takes a steep detour down. This is not gonna be any fun coming back up, I can already tell you. I was not expecting this kind of a steep, like this is the worst I've seen so far on this trail. It's been pretty smooth going until this point. Hopefully it's just this one little spot, and then it looks like maybe it starts to level out a bit. But anyway, yeah, on the trip back, as my legs are going to be almost completely wore out, that is not going to be any fun whatsoever. But it looks like it's just temporary. But I thought I would point that out. That's like the worst spot in this trail that I've seen up to this point. It's been relatively easy until now, but yeah, going downhill, I mean, even going downhill is kind of difficult, but coming back uphill, whoo, that's gonna be tough on the old cardio. But at least I know what to be expecting when I get here. All right, so that little downhill escapade that I mentioned a minute ago was not fun at all. That probably took the biggest toll on my knees and my feet, just trying to put the brakes on the entire time. I did want to show you this. This is another little runoff area, probably one of the bigger ones I've seen so far. A little bit of standing water, but like I mentioned earlier, it's not really rained much in the past couple of weeks, so there's not really any water. But I would think if you came right after a pretty significant rain, there might be. Looks like another area where, you know, there's a little bit of water running off the mountain. But anyway, yeah, that little section of the trail was not fun at all. So I actually think I'm looking forward to going up the hill when I go back versus coming down. It just, man, it's just so hard on my knees and my feet. I mean, it's literally like you're just putting the brakes on with every muscle that you have in your legs going down. I could have got my climbing poles out, my hiking poles, and used those, but that would have helped. But it's just such a small distance, I didn't want to unpack those and have to pack them back up. But probably have to use them when I go back uphill on the way back. All right, so I'm getting close to the end here. I can hear traffic. I just saw this big old rock overhang here. Thought that was pretty neat. I get that on camera. But I can hear traffic, and I'm sure you can too on the audio off in the distance. So I'm getting close to the road, which is nice. So we got maybe another 10 or 15 minutes until we get down here to the end. Man, there's just a lot of these big rock structures on this end of the trail. I didn't see anything like this for the majority of it. So definitely nice change of pace. I mean, these are some really large rock formations. Not a cave, but definitely like a hole back up through there. I'm not going to climb up there and get in that mess. Don't really want to get in this rocky area when it's still warm, because I'm assuming there's probably some snakes hiding out in those crevices. And I prefer not to mess with them. Alright, so check out this view right here. I was not expecting this. So there's the Townsend Y. If you can see that RV turning, that's where we stopped this morning as we were heading in. And then there's the Y. You can park down here, and everybody comes out and hangs out in the water. But yeah, pretty good view. All right, so trying to figure out where this goes. Like, I know based on the map that you have to cross the water to get to the other side. I mean, there's no other way. But I'll be honest, I have never been on this side of the river here at the Y. So it's kind of a neat experience. But pretty good view here. There's the upstream, which now that I see it, like, the water here is not near as deep as I expected it to be. So you could cross here fairly easily, or right up here cross and then get back up, which would be a lot easier than I expected. I was thinking it was going to cross down there where it's deeper. But pretty awesome little view here. Now, just upstream of the river. Of course, the road's just right across. Up there, you'll see a car pass here in a minute. But yeah, just never been on this side. I actually thought this crossing was going to be a whole lot worse, but I don't think it would be that bad. I will say this, I did take my socks and boots off. I've got my feet in the water right now, but definitely would recommend at least some water shoes, because these rocks are a little bit tough in some spots. But anyway, pretty awesome view. Anyway, thought I would share that with you. This is what makes these hikes worth it, is getting to spots like this. Now, you could have driven and parked right across the street and just walked down here, but to me it's a lot more rewarding to walk. You can see the traffic from up there, so we're close to the road. But again, definitely a good hike. All right, so that was Roundtop Trail, 7.5 miles one way, 15 miles round trip. So what do I think about this trail? So let me start by saying, if you're someone that's coming in from out of town, or even a local that's just looking to get out and do the occasional hike, not sure I would recommend this one. Really not a lot to see until you get down here to the Y, the Townsend Y, and I mean, you can drive up to see that. So the other thing is, I mean, a smart person would find somebody else to hike with them, where you can drive two separate vehicles. So you drive and park one car at one end and then go up and start on the other. So that way you only have to hike 7.5 and then get in the car and drive back and pick up the second vehicle. So I didn't have that option. So now I'm walking back. So I've already done the 7.5 one way, and now it's going to be a total of 15 for me. It took me about 3.5 hours to hike that first section. I'm guessing it's going to be a little slower this go. Pretty tired, to be honest. So I don't know, 7.5 hours on this one. But anyway, recommendations. If you do want to get out and do this trail, I would probably suggest doing it in the wintertime. Number one, when the leaves are off of the trees, you're going to have some much better views of the mountains themselves. Two, spider webs. Hopefully in the wintertime you won't hit those. I bet I cleared out 12,000 spider webs on this one. And my fear is, I've read spiders can rebuild their webs in about 30 minutes, so I'm probably going to hit about 80% of those again on the way back. So not looking forward to that either. But sorry, I'm going uphill and I'm trying to catch my breath. I need to slow down a little bit. But if you just want to get out and hike a trail where you're not going to see anybody, this is definitely it. There's just really not anything to see on the way. It's just a walk in the woods. So just keep that in mind. I've enjoyed it because I like getting out here by myself. I did see a couple more hikers. They were actually starting down at the Y, and they were headed the other direction. So I think they're in front of me now. But that's the only two people I've seen on this trail, and I don't expect to see anybody else, which is fine. I like being out here by myself. But again, this is a very long trail, not extremely difficult. Like right here towards the end, it's got some incline, which, as you can tell, my breathing, but I'm trying to talk and breathe at the same time, which is never good. But anyway, I enjoyed it, but it's not one of those I would recommend just to get out and go on a weekend hike. I would do one of the others that, you know, where you've got a waterfall, or you're next to the river the whole time, or maybe a cabin, at least some kind of a end point to get to. Probably not 15 miles for sure. That's a bit of a challenge, but for me, I've enjoyed it. It's a great day. The weather was 54 degrees this morning. I think it's supposed to get up to near 80. Probably won't be that warm here in the mountains, maybe upper 70s. I did see a bear. You're not gonna be able to see it because it was so far away on the GoPro. Hopefully when I get back and edit the video, maybe I can find it and draw a little arrow, help point it out. But I expect that one's gonna be too far. Oh, trying to catch my breath, sorry. But anyway, I think this is gonna be an exceptionally short video for an exceptionally long trail. There just wasn't that much to see. Other than when you get down here to the Y, I took some shots of that. That's phenomenal. But just save yourself some pain and just drive up here to the Y. You can walk right down to the river and get those same shots. So, but I enjoy getting out, the exercise, just being on the trail and out in nature. So to me, it's been pretty awesome. But again, like I said, this is gonna be a short video compared to the trail. Oh, sorry, I was looking at this rock formation as I come up. Probably something back in that hole. I'm not gonna go back in there and find out. But sorry, I get distracted easily. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And as usual, I'd ask you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It'll just basically give you a notification the next time I put another video out. So until next time, remember, just keep walking.